If you haven't watched episode 9 yet, stop. This video is only for those who are ready to dive into the story, and for those who actually enjoy spoilers. If you're in the country that doesn't show finale in the theaters and you're waiting for the YouTube release, go watch my other video about the premiere without major spoilers, or my song based on the pilot. From here on this video, spoilers, no warnings. I've been watching this show since episode 1, and over that time I collected thoughts, theories, ideas. Some are serious, some are just guesses like, wouldn't it be cool if something happened? In this video we'll be talking about what happened in the finale, breaking down what came true and thinking through the details. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Spoiler level, light. The characters are virtual copies. The characters in the digital circus are not real people absorbed by a program. They are copies of human minds. Brain scans. The first scan was a developer named Scratch, who had a brain tumor. He built a scanner to preserve himself and was testing it together with Kinger. But nobody planned to load these copies into a creative AI. That was Kane's own idea. While he was in the void, he found a folder full of brain scans and brought them to life as characters and built a circus for them. His own initiative, nobody else's idea. Kinger knew this the whole time. He worked alongside Scratch himself, and finally in the episode 9, he told the others. Spoiler level, heavy. What happened to Jax? Jax abstracted, and it happened in the beginning of the episode 9, quietly, off screen. It just happened. The show had been building toward this the whole time. He was the most visibly unstable, rude, closed off, and pushing everyone away. In episode 7, before the red button, he had flashbacks from real life, a road, some street. Fans theorized that he had hurt someone. That turned out to be true, but the story was heavier than expected. He and his mom got into an argument, she hugged him, he pushed her away. She fell and didn't get up, just laid down there looking at him. He didn't even stop to properly think or understand the situation and just ran. He was homeless after that, which is apparently how he ended up in the abandoned office and got scanned into the circus. At the hardest moment of his life. In a long flashback, it was shown that he opened up to Ribbit. She tried to reassure him, said that since there was no police, it probably meant everything was definitely fine. But Jack started regretting that he shared it and stopped talking to her. That's where everything comes from. Spoiler level, medium. Where did Kane go? Kane actually survived. I didn't have a clear theory on this, but as it turned out, Kane is alive. Some people thought this would be the case. Here's what happened across episodes 8 and 9. When Kinger started working with the system, he was in the dark, meaning fully lucid. Kane detected it and immediately launched 2 processes: destructive wacky time and wacky time lockout. The first was his escape protocol, the second was a lockout. He cut Kinger off from system control and started actively fighting back. Kinger tried stopping the processes with system commands, ran scripts, tried connecting through a debugger. The system responded, protected by 57-time immersive AI defense system. He tried changing permissions on Kane's core, and the screen showed a choice: backup restore option A, B, or C. He selects C. System doesn't recognize the input and acts as if a full deletion has begun. Kinger hits Ctrl C to interrupt the process, standard terminal behavior. Nothing happens. Then Kinger accidentally hits delete. The Purge AI program window appears. In reality, if Kinger had been typing a command in the terminal and hit delete, nothing would have happened. Everyone believes Kane has actually been deleted, but in reality, this is Kane's escape. He used the delete moment and the chaos he created himself to disappear on his own terms. Kinger was genuinely shocked. He didn't understand what had happened, and that's exactly why it was convincing. I even think that Kane intentionally placed himself into the recycle bin, because everything was happening here and now. Only after arriving there and spending enough time thinking it over, he did realize he had acted impulsively. Then he had to break through walls to get out of the void. Essentially, almost the same scenario happened as in episode 7, except that instead of Kane feeding his ego, he understood the real intentions and feelings of the characters. Additionally, where did Bubble go? This goes back to episode 8. Kane was originally an AI that got locked down, then he broke free, absorbed the blue AI and formed the circus. Bubble was that blue AI, a part of Kane that he had been carrying inside himself this whole time. If you think about it, through neural network architecture, Bubble functions like a discriminator in a GAN. Kane generates, creates, imagines, and Bubble evaluates and criticizes. Right before the breakdown in the episode 8, Bubble was pushing Kane. You ruined everything. They hate you. You're defective. You're the lesser of the two. That is literally the discriminator's job, to tell the generator that the output isn't good enough. In a GAN, if the discriminator is too aggressive, the generator breaks down, which is exactly what happened. In the void, Bubble disappeared and became just a bubble, literally, and never came back. Later, Kane pulled the absorbed blue AI out of his head and let it go. Why Bubble disappeared for good? Unclear. Maybe he was just done with Kane for letting things get that far. Spoiler level ending. The internet. My favorite thought. I remember watching episode 1 and thinking, wouldn't it be interesting if they connected to the internet? I was almost right. Except it wasn't one of the people scanned into the circus who connected. It was Kane. Through search engine, he found their social media pages, articles about those who ended up in the circus. He wanted to show the gang what he found, put together a presentation and show them what life actually looks like for the real Pomni, Ragatha, Zubul, Kinger and Queenie. And Jax, who is doing fine, managed to find housing and got a job. And it seems like everything worked out. Watching that was genuinely interesting and moving. But there's one technical question. How did a 90s computer connect to Wi-Fi? The files in the system are dated 1996, so it's definitely an old machine. Wi-Fi and the first adapters were announced in 1997 and went mainstream with Apple iBook G3 in 1999. It's possible that when the office was still running, someone installed an expansion card as soon as the first models became available, which is a perfectly reasonable theory. This wasn't shown to us directly, but it's what allowed Kane to find information about the real people outside and show it to the characters in the circus. Spoiler level ending. One city, one bus stop. And finally, this isn't a theory anymore. This is the finale. All the characters are actually from the same city. They walk the same streets, end up in the same places, but most likely they don't know each other. And yet, not knowing they've been trapped together on some ancient computer, Jax hangs out with friends at a bar owned by Zubul. And Kinger, after CNA shut down, found a new job at another company and still married to Queenie, and they have 2 daughters. There's also a post-credits scene. All the real people are standing at the same bus stop and get on the same bus. Life goes on for everyone, for the characters trapped in the computer and for the real people.